Hello, everyone. My name is Ana Martha Ayala, and I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. As a reminder, I do every video in English and Spanish, and the degree theory is based on modern Western astrology using the Placidus house system. In today's video, I wanted to talk to you about musical talent. With all of the things that are happening in the world, which is mostly tense energy, right? I thought that I would make a video on the lighter side of Neptune. This idea came about because I've had several clients who are young women who are interested in knowing if they could make it in the artistic world, like if they astrologically had musical talent. So now let me just put it this way, because this is going to be a very general video to give you a general idea. Now, every natal chart is different, but I thought I'd say, well, let me take very talented and famous singers and look at the aspects of Venus to Mercury and Neptune. Neptune is a generational planet, so we're going to ignore that placement, right? But we will see what aspects, if any, it makes to Venus and Mercury. Nicola had said that artistic talent is usually Neptune in aspect to Venus. So I'm taking it a step further and involving Mercury because you could be writing music, writing songs, right? So remember, I only deal with Ptolemy aspects, which are the conjunction, the sextile, the trine, the square, and the opposition. There are many other aspects, but I ignore, like the in conjunction, the sesqui square, the semi-sextile, all of these other little things, I just ignore them. I just use Ptolemy. Now, I did separate the group between women and men, and also the list is in no particular order, right? I tried to choose from different genres, but some of the information was not available on astro.com, so I marked them, NA, non-applicable. Also, some of the charts on astro.com, I had to pick what I thought was the most correct, but I didn't rectify any of the charts. So the moon placement might be different in some cases because the moon, if it's at the very late degrees or very early degrees of the sign, depending on the time, the moon, changes sign every 2.5 days. So it depends. So this is the case, for example, for Celine Dion and Michael Jackson as examples. Now, um, one thing obviously is based on what I think, my taste in music, right? I don't listen to rap and I don't listen to rock. So I don't know any artists in those two genres. So the list does not include these. So I apologize ahead of time, but you know, this is what I came up with. Let me share my screen. And here you go. You have what I did. I looked at the sun sign, the Venus sign, Mercury, the moon, um, the ascendant, right? And like I said, I put Neptune in here because that's what I want to, show you guys, right? The aspects and whether Neptune is an aspect to Venus, to Mercury, or both, or none, right? So let's take a look. And again, the list is in no particular order. Taylor Swift, Aretha Franklin, Mariah Carey, Rihanna, Sabrina Carpenter, Britney Spears, Miley Cyrus, Adele, Jennifer Lopez, Whitney Houston, Madonna, Dua Lipa, Beyonce, Celine Dion, Barbara Streisand, Diana Ross, Kelly Clarkson, Christina Aguilera, Donna Summer, Tina Turner, Ariana Grande, and Gwen Stefani. These are 22 women who I think have been very successful in their music career. So, for the sun sign, which I was surprised, fire, there are 13 fire sun signs. And I color coded them, obviously. The reds are the fires. And then you have six earth, right, which is the brown. And actually there are two waters, not one water. So let me change that. This video might be a short video, but it took a lot of time to put together. And then we only have one air sign for the sun sign. For Venus, again, fire is the main element. You have eight fire, five water, four earth, five air signs for the Venus placement. Neptune, like I said, I'm going to ignore it because it's a generational planet. You know, you can tell that like Taylor Swift and like Britney Spears, Miley Cyrus, Adele, they're all on the younger side. And then I have some very well-established women who are more mature. Celine Dion, Barbara Streisand, Donna Summer is no longer with us, or nor Tina Turner, but they had very successful careers. So I did. That's why I'm saying that this Neptune is a generational planet, so I'm not going to count that. Now, Mercury. With Mercury, we have five air, five water, eight earth, and four air signs. So five fire, because I think I said air. Five fire, five water, eight earth signs, and four air signs. With the moon, again, based on the birth time, the moon and the rising sign can be different, especially like 1 degree of Cancer here for Taylor Swift. Now, I knew that I had someone that gave me her time of birth, but I couldn't find the email, so I just used what was on astro.com. Either way, we have the majority here is 9 water signs for the moon. So we have 5 fire, 9 water, 5 earth, and 3 air. And then for the rising sign, we have 4 fire, 6 water, 6 earth, and 3 air signs. What I found very impressive was that most of these women have some kind of aspect, either in Venus or in Mercury to Neptune, or both. Like, for example, Whitney Houston and Madonna have both. We have Celine Dion, and I had placed a comment here, which is, I'm not sure if the charts are correct because it had like 12:15 a.m. and then it had 12:30 p.m. So that's a 12-hour difference. So, you go with the flow. I picked the one that I thought was more correct. Donna Summer has both, and also Ariana Grande has both. So, but you can see that most of them have something. For example, Aretha Franklin didn't have either aspect. Adele doesn't have either aspect. Barbara Streisand and Diana Ross, let me see. Yeah, they don't have either one, but the rest of them do. My surprise, honestly, I thought that I would find not so much fire, right? I would think that it would be more of an earth or a water-based talent because, water is more of the emotion, and earth, because, Venus rules Taurus. So, and Taurus rules the throat. I thought I would find more Taurus in here, but I didn't. So surprise, surprise. I did find, in some cases like the moon, because I guess when you write songs, I imagine that, your feelings have to be in them, right? Like, you broke up with somebody or you fell in love or something like that. But anyhow, and then I focused on the degrees of, which are these, right? These are the degrees. This is Mercury. This is Pisces, which is the ruler of Neptune rules Pisces. And so 3, 15, and 27 are Mercury. 27 is here. And I also did 12 and 24, which is Pisces or Neptune. But I also did Leo. Why Leo? Because Leo is performing in theater, right? Leo is acting as well as Neptune. So, I would think that you would have some kind of Leo background or Taurus. I didn't do the Taurus degree, but you can see that there's a lot of Neptune degrees, a lot of them. In addition to what, like I said, I'm discussing the aspects of Venus and Mercury to Neptune. Now, these are the women. For the men, it's completely different, which I thought was very interesting. Now, for the men, I have like 23 men. And again, in no particular order, I picked from different genres. Some of them did not have their natal chart available on astro.com. I could have done it through their birthday, but then, I want to use the same source for everybody, right? So we have Ricky Martin, Luis Fonsi, Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson, Bruno Mars, Bruce Springsteen, Frank Sinatra, Elton John, Buddy Holly, Legend, Chris Brown, Harry Styles, Justin Bieber, Ed Sheeran, Stevie Wonder, Michael Bolton, Nat King Cole, Daughtry, Lou Rawls, Dean Martin, Brandon Lake, Carlton Dixon, and Jordan Felice. And like I said, the NA are the non-applicables because I couldn't find the information on astro.com. For the men, the same rules apply. I did not consider Neptune because it's a generational planet, but I did consider the aspects. And look at this. Most men do not have an aspect. There are more that don't than the ones that do. For example, Ricky Martin has both Venus and Mercury in aspect to Neptune. And he's the only man that does. The other ones, like Elvis Presley, I thought would have Venus and Mercury in aspect, but just Mercury. Bruno Mars and Bruce Springsteen, Mercury is an aspect. John Legend, Mercury. Harry Styles and Justin Bieber have Venus, as well as Stevie Wonder and Michael Bolton. And then Nat King Cole and let me see who's this? Daughtry have Mercury. But it's not as much as the women. The women, like pretty much everybody, has an aspect to Neptune. So for the men, I found that only 3 fire signs, uh, 8 earth sun signs, 4 water, and 2 air, which was interesting because the women have more fire suns than the men. Men are more earth suns. Now for Venus, I have 4 fire, 5 earth, 3 water, and 5 air, which is, the distribution is pretty even. There's nothing that stands out, right? Now for Mercury, we have 6 air, 4 earth, 4 water, and 3 air. So again, fire is a little bit more, but not much. Moon sign. All right, so with again the moon and the rising sign, it depends on the birth time, and if the birth time is off, then these can change. For any moon degree that's either very close to 0 or at 29 degrees, it could be different based on the time of birth. But moon sign, we have 5 fire, 3 earth, 5 water, and 4 air signs. And then for the degree of the rising sign, we have 5 fire, 3 earth, 4 water, and 4 air. This is more like, I find that the men are more equally distributed except for the sun signs. The sun signs here are the earth. And again, this is a small sample, but I thought that this analysis was pretty cool. At least for the women, I could, you know, there's a lot of fire. So I hope that this can give you some inclination, some idea of how to look at your chart and see if and obviously I didn't go through the MC, right? The 10th house, because if the chart is wrong, then the MC, but it's all over the place, right? I would have thought that I would have seen more Taurus because it rules the voice, although definitely Neptune is a strong component of all of these for all these people. Again, you see Leo, the degree of Leo. You see the degree of Mercury. You see the degree of Pisces, right? In Look at this. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in degrees of either Leo, Mercury, or Venus. Or Neptune. And then the moon, I highlighted them so that way it's Pisces or Neptune is a really big component of the what do you call it? The musical talent. So anyway, I just thought I would do this little fun video because with all of the stuff that's happening in the world, I thought I would put a lighter spin on this week's video. And I hope that anybody out there that's considering doing, singers, anybody that's interested in singing would take a look at this and see how their natal chart compares to all of these very famous people. And one of the things is, like I've said in my Neptune video, I think it was the Neptune ingressing in Aries, that some people have musical talent, okay? But it's whether you can make it really, really well in the industry. Because there's a lot of components out there that need to be and with everything that's happening in Hollywood and stuff, I'm sure that we're going to hear a lot of scandals with Neptune ingressing in Aries on a personal level. So, but anyhow, some people have the musical talent naturally, right? They can sing really well. And for whatever reason, they don't make it out in show business, let's put in the musical field, but that doesn't mean that they don't have the talent. But anyway, not to delay you guys any further, thank you for watching. If you liked the video or you learned something from it, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel and send it to somebody else who might be interested in learning something. Oh my goodness, this is my new puppy, Sahara. She just had to make a cameo appearance, right? She's only 5 months old, but she's huge. She's a Doberman. Anyhow, if you would like a natal chart reading with me, please send me an email to AMAastrology. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.